Will? Yeah, he knows everybody from the show and they always keep him in the loop with what they got going on nowadays. I thought you knew. You gotta check out Will's updates.
It's time to go beyond the headlines, cause I don't put in overtime just so I can headline. Okay, now it's Fox Sports, I'm live with Renee. Going hard every day, sports rapping every play. Different segments for your favorites, coming at you daily with positive vibes. Yeah, we some game changers. Basketball, football, soccer, with different interviews, you never know who may pop up. Listen, only on Beyond the Headlines. This is Beyond the Headlines. Only on Beyond the Headlines. This is Beyond the Headlines. Only on Beyond the Headlines. This is Beyond the Headlines with Renee Washington.
Hello everyone and welcome once again to Will's Update. I'm your host, Mr. William D. Morgan, and this is Will's Update, which you can hear every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, right here on Beyond the Headlines with Renee Washington. Now, my next guest is someone who knows the San Antonio Spurs all too well. He is the host of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jeff Garcia. Jeff, how are you doing today?
Hey, William, I'm doing good, and thanks for having me back on.
Thank you, man. Thank you for joining us. Last time you were on the show, September 11th of 2019. What have you been up to since then?
Well, I've expanded to covering the NBA 2K League.
Okay.
And basically, how it all started was curiosity. Our arena is based in New York City. I reside in New York City, and at that time, it was in Queens, in New York. Realized it. I put my name out there. Said, "Hey, 2K League PR, do you mind if I go cover it?" Sure, why not? Didn't think much would come of it, but it actually turned into something that I really enjoy. Now, look, I have no problem saying that I'm a big geek at heart. I am. I really, really am. But to realize that there's this segment of the NBA franchises, there's the NBA G League, there's the NBA WNBA, and then there's the NBA 2K League, that there's a segment of their property where it has a bunch of young adults, young men, women too, that are competing in a different style, a different format, rather than on the hardwood that you would see at, Barclays Center, Madison Square. So I dive in, not expecting much. And lo and behold, there are so many stories. I've learned that an NYPD officer quit the force just to do the combine, and he got in, and now he's a professional NBA 2K League player. I've learned that the franchises, so for example, Nets Gaming, they're run by the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets treat them just as much as they are Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, a player on their roster. It's such a fascinating league that doesn't get a lot of coverage. I'm fortunate I've been accepted by the league to tell their story. Another fascinating story is a gentleman that I met that was a financial advisor in California. Big firm. I'm talking, a well-to-do life, great salary, benefits, et cetera, et cetera. And he told me the story how one day he told his family that he's quitting that lucrative job, a job that he worked for in school, because he wanted to play NBA 2K. And he made the combines, he did it, he became a professional player for the 76ers franchise, which is called Sixers Gaming. So that's what I've expanded since, and it's still going to today now to realize that they're not kids, and I think that's the biggest knock on this league. They just a bunch of kids, these 16, 17-year-olds that are playing out of their home. It's not that way at all. You have 30-year-olds, you have young 20, mid-20s guys that I told you gave up incredible jobs because they have a passion for this game. And it's so fascinating, William, that I wish we had more time to talk about it, but I know you might be limited on time here.
Yeah, we can definitely get into that on a later show. That sounds very interesting to learn more about. Now, I wanted to get into the NBA with you for a quick second. There's been some talk of a 1 through 16 playoff scenario. What are your opinions on that, and can the Spurs succeed with that type of format to finish up the season?
talk about 1 through 16 conference, right?
Yes.
Not grand total.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. There's been that World Cup tournament proposal that's kind of rumbling out there. It's interesting to think of that. Now, with the Spurs farewell, probably not. If you're going to do that World Cup play-in style 16 format, because they'd be matched up against some tough teams. Or even when the NBA halted its play, the Spurs, though mathematically were in a chase for that 8th seed in the West, it would have been a daunting task. I'm talking about teams like the Rockets, the Pelicans a couple of times. I believe they have the Clippers still up on their slate. It would have been tough. Now, to throw them in the mix like this, I think that'd be even tougher, because if they do this World Cup style group play, 16 teams get in, blah, 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 then you're looking at a group where the Spurs have to face Mavericks, the Raptors, Blazers, tough competition, let alone the Spurs team before the stoppage was not great defensively. They were kind of one of the league bottom feeders in that department. Offensively, they were fine. There was some life. They beat Dallas right before the NBA was put on hold. They were picking up some momentum, but it may have been too little too late. As far as the 16-team format is concerned, just overall, I think that'll be fun. I think that'll be a good bring in teams that normally maybe wouldn't have made it because of the record, to give them a fighting chance to get in. But I think at the end of the day, William, no matter how you look at it, whether they do the 16, whether they did the 8 and 8, 8 West, 8 East, whoever was in the playoffs, y'all are playing, somebody's not going to be happy. And I think teams have to recognize that. If they just do top 8 West, top 8 East, you guys are going to make it no matter what, play on. So what do you tell teams like Sacramento, Portland, Phoenix, the Spurs? We know you had a shot, but too bad so sad. We got to get this going. And what if they do come back and you have your Memphis and you were hanging on to that 8 seed, and then they do this World Cup style 16 playoff tournament, whatever they're going to do, William, and you lose that spot because you didn't do what you need to do on the court to preserve your 8th seed like the Grizzlies do. So it's such a weird thing they're going to do, in the sense that somebody's not going to be happy. Teams are not going to be happy. Players are not going to be happy. Look what Damian Lillard said recently, that he would not play if the NBA told him they're going to play games that are meaningless. In other words, there's no shot at the postseason for the Blazers. Although fun to have come back, but it's just a matter of how. My opinion, and this is a Spurs guy here talking to you, I think they should just go right into the playoffs. I think that's the best way to handle it.
I agree with you. I really do agree with you. Now,
yeah.
I want to finish up on something that should be near and dear to your heart. Mario Ellie's comments on Hakeem Olajuwon being a better skilled player than Tim Duncan. What are your thoughts on that, sir? I have to know.
Ooh, yeah, that was a topic that really I talked about on Locked On Spurs. Look, I've always fascinated and wanted to see a prime dream versus a prime big fundamental. I think that would have been one for the record, for the ages. Those matchups would have been must-see TV. You're talking about Hakeem, the Dream Olajuwon, the Dream Shake, his fluid moves, his fluid post moves, devastated centers in the 90s. And you got Tim Duncan, Mr. Fundamental, bank shot. You blink your eyes, you look at the stat sheet, you're like, how in the what did he get a triple-double on? You just like, wow, how did he do this? Steady player, consistent, the best power forward ever. As far as Ellie's concerned, unfortunately, I got to maybe give him a little agreement. Skill-wise, Olajuwon may have been a little better. A little bit better post moves skill-wise. The dream shake, the up and under, the pump fakes, the footwork. Tim Duncan had footwork, there's no doubt about it, but not to the level of Dream. Now, if you just look at the overall player, well, then I got to give my tip of the cap to Tim Duncan then. I think Tim Duncan, his IQ was off the charts. His willingness to get his teammates involved. He was a bigger frame, a bigger body than Dream was. I think he could have maybe muscled him a little bit in that paint. I think at the end of the day, it'll come down to foul trouble. Who gets into foul trouble first. So if I'm Timmy, I'm putting my arm out there and trying to get Dream to hack me and then raise my hands through that and call the foul. And if you're Dream, you're trying to hit TD with that Dream shake. But as far as skill set, maybe he's right, being Ellie, but overall player, I got to give the nod to TD.
I got you. I do understand. Good points. Jeff, I want to say thank you for joining me today. It has been a pleasure, my friend. And hopefully we can do this again really, really soon.
Yes, please. I would love that. And thank you very much, William.
And guys, don't forget, you can check out Beyond the Headlines with Renee Washington on Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern. For all my podcasters out there, you can find the show on Spotify, Google Play, as well as iTunes. This has been Will Morgan with Will's Update, and I hope to see you guys next week. Everyone, take care.